Mr. Jorgensen, is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say that I truly am sorry. I want to say especially to the family and especially to the children of both Manny and Fanta. I am very, very sorry. And that's all.
Well, to the family, friends, and loved ones of Fanta and Manny, I am so very sorry for your loss. And I can't imagine the pain that you all must be suffering. There's no rule book or time frame on how to grieve. Grief is a unique individual experience, so do what's right for your soul. Seek out others who will allow you to talk as much as you want to talk, as often as you want to talk about your grief. And if at times you don't feel like talking, you also have that right to keep silent. If faith is a part of your life, express it in ways that seem appropriate to you. Allow yourself to be around people who understand and support your beliefs. And finally, hold on to the love and memories of Fanta and Manny. They are your strength. Of course, hold on to each other. Let Fanta and Manny and their memories be your source of courage and comfort. Grieve as you must, but cherish the moments you had with them, because they are your treasure. I wish you all Godspeed. To the defendant, Joseph Jorgenson, here's some of what I gathered when I read your pre-sentence investigation report. You had a good childhood. Your parents remained married, and you had a loving and supportive relationship with them. They provided you with a good education and a good family structure. You share a loving and supportive relationship with your siblings. You were never placed out of home as a juvenile. There was no domestic violence, chemical dependency, or mental health issues within your family. You were never physically or sexually abused. You had no childhood trauma affecting you in your adulthood. No members of your family have ever been in trouble with the law. You graduated from high school, never diagnosed with any learning disabilities. You didn't require any special education. You were never suspended or expelled from school. You attended private college and graduated with a bachelor's degree. And you were employed for 13 years in a major financial institution. Yet, notwithstanding all the privileges this world gave you, you inexplicably committed the most gruesome and heinous of crimes I have ever known. You brutally took from others what was not yours to take. Not only did 2 lives suffer a horrific death at your hands, but you exponentially compounded your sins and crimes by making it almost impossible for their family, friends, and loved ones to grieve and find peace in their most tragic loss. As a society which deems itself to be civil, we look for rational answers to why someone would do or could do what you did. In this case, there are no answers. What you did cannot be explained. What you did was purely evil. The more appropriate sentence for your crimes would be life without the possibility of parole. However, having pled guilty to the most serious crimes to which you were charged and having agreed to serve the most severe sentence allowed by law, my hands are tied, and I cannot impose what you truly deserve. I do pray that if you ever leave the prison walls, that you not cause any more pain. I ask you to please rise, Mr. Jorgenson. Joseph Stephen Jorgenson in case number 62CR25-36, having pleaded guilty to the murder of Fanta Jayavong, and this court having accepted your plea and having found that it was made knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, now sentences you as follows. As to the sole count of murder in the second degree with intent, without premeditation in violation of Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 1, paren 1, this court adjudicates you guilty and sentences you as follows. It is the sentence of law and judgment of this court you be committed to the Commissioner of Corrections for 480 months. At least 320 of those months must be served in prison, and no more than 160 of those months can be served on supervised release. You have custody credit, which I am required to pronounce, of 619 days. If not already done so, you must provide a sample of your DNA while at the Department of Corrections. You must pay a fine of $5,000 plus all fees and surcharges, and there's no restitution imposed as the victims have not requested any. In case number 62CR23-3782, having pleaded guilty to the murder of Manny Nicole Starn, and this court having accepted your plea as having been made knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily, now sentences you as follows. As to the sole count of murder in the second degree with intent but without premeditation in violation of Minnesota Statute 609.19 subdivision 1, paren 1, this court adjudicates you guilty and sentences you as follows. It is the sentence of law and judgment of this court that you be committed to the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 480 months. At least 320 of those months must be served in prison, and no more than 160 of those months may be served on supervised release. You have custody credit of 614 days. Again, if not already done so, you must provide a sample of your DNA while at the Department of Corrections. You must pay a fine of $5,000 plus fees and surcharges, and you are to make restitution to the Minnesota Crime Victims Reparation Board in an amount to be determined within 60 days. These sentences are to run concurrently and according with the plea agreement. These sentences are aggravated upward departures from the Minnesota sentencing guidelines. You waived your right to a jury and court trial on the aggravating factors, and this court accepted your waiver as having been given knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. The reason for the departures include your invasion into the privacy of the victims, you in a romantic relationship with the victims, you dismembered their bodies, and you hid their dismembered bodies from their loved ones. Case number 62CR23-3728 is dismissed in its entirety in accordance with the plea agreement. Mr. Catwick, any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Weiss?
None, Your Honor.
This hearing is concluded. We are adjourned.